Sorry, I just wanted to capture it for those people that might not have been able to hop on.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
Well,
Meg.
my name is Meg Weddle, and I own Meg's in downtown Radford, along with Garrett's, which is our menswear business. And we've had our business now for 34 years. And we like to say that we enhance lives with our great clothes and clothing services. And that's why I'm in business, is to enhance people's lives. And hopefully today I can help you with a trick or two with scarves that kind of make your life a little more fun, a little more interesting, or just a little better. I was born in Radford, but I am Blacksburg bred. Grew up in Blacksburg, went to Margaret Beeks, yay. I don't know if I have any Gilbert Lincoln's people around, but anyway, but I went to Margaret Beeks and then certainly to Blacksburg High School. And then I actually tried to, in my office, I have my diploma from Tech. I got my degree at Tech, and then came to work in retail and owning my own business over here. So, but the special thing is that my mother was one of the founding members of the Virginia Tech Women's Club. And I remember as a small girl, she would always go to what she called Faculty Women's Club. And all the good things they did and all the wonderful people that were in that group. So I have such great memories and such great thoughts about your organization in general. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity today to be a part of that. And I know my mom would be proud. So we'll get started, and we'll get started about scarf tying. And I'm going to start with the scarf that I have on, which is an infinity scarf. And I had a lady who worked here who called it a unity scarf. So if you catch me calling a unity scarf, that's okay too. And actually, in this world we live in today, we need a little more unity. So I'm going to go with unity scarf. I kind of like that better. But I'll teach you some ways to work with this scarf. How many people have a unity scarf? Do we have some people that have unity scarves? Okay. Okay, great. So we'll start. I actually have it. Oh, look, Madeline's going to get hers. Great. I actually have it in the most common position, and that is to have just put it on and double it. That's how most people would wear a scarf. And most people who come in the store say, what else can you do? Well, another neat thing that I like to do is I like to do 3 times around me. And then I like to turn it into a face mask. So if you do it 3 times or 4 times, whatever yours is, this is a great scarf to wear and be able to have a face mask as well, or to wear it over top of an existing face mask. So this is probably the best one to do that with. Y'all are the first group that I've talked about turning a scarf into a face mask. There is another knot that is very appropriate for that as well, and I'll show you that later. But that's a great way to do that. So do the double. It also is nice just sometimes to do the single. And you can even take a piece of jewelry and put it right there. Like, for instance, I've got a piece of jewelry over there on one of the scarves, and you can just turn it into a single this way. That's nicer when the weather is warmer and you don't want that much scarf up to your face. Another way that I like to do it that a lot of people don't think about is you take it off and you twist it, just twist it. And how do you twist it? You just kind of take one hand and twist it, then put it on and do it like a twist. And so you have just a good look. You've taken your unity scarf and done it like a twist. So that's a great way to do it. Another fun thing to do with the unity scarf that a lot of people don't think about, and mine's not really wide, so it's not going to show up as well, but you can do this as just a cover up. So especially if yours is bigger, I think, Madeline, you're gonna have to stand up and show us, because you can do that as a nice cover up for a sleeveless dress, or if you just want to add a little bit of something, that's a great way to do a unity scarf. So there's a lot more than just the double hang, which most of us do with that. So you've got the twist, you've got the face mask, you've got the cover up. You've got a lot of things that you can do with a unity scarf. So we'll stop with that. So all of those are great ways to do that. My dad, one reason my mother was in the faculty women's club, as she called it, was because my dad was a physicist, and he taught physics at Tech. And so I have what I call are my fashion physics. Daddy would probably roll over in his grave, but anyway, because fashion and physics. But anyway, so the fashion physics are just fundamentals. And I wanted to give you all a couple fundamentals about wearing scarves in general today, as we rotate between another scarf. And one is that when you're wearing scarves, they need to suit your figure. And I have a lot of people that come in the shop and they say, oh, I can't wear a scarf. I can't do a scarf. It's just too much up here for me. I can't do that. If you have a lot of weight in your neck, your shoulders, and your chest, you're considered an apple figure. And I think you have to be very careful about the scarves that you do wear, because you don't want to add much bulk up here. So I suggest for apple figures to get thin scarves, as well as make their scarf thin. So later on, we're going to learn about the twist. But if I was an apple figure and I'm a pear, so I have more weight on the bottom, I have more weight in my hips and my butt and my thighs. That's where I have my weight. So wherever you have your weight, whether it be up here or down there, it's important to know how to wear a scarf. So with an apple figure, I always suggest for that person who has the bigger bust line to take their scarf and make it as tight and as small as possible. So when they do something, they get a very straight, long line that helps take away some of the weight and some of the thickness from up top. So yes, an apple figure can wear a scarf, though pear figures that I have wear them more, because that adds more weight up here to balance out what we have on the bottom, to give the perfect figure. I often say nobody walks in our door with a perfect figure, but they walk out with a perfect figure. We make sure that they do. So if I am an apple, I'm going to buy thin scarves. I'm probably not going to buy a unity scarf because it has a loop. And I'm going to twist my scarves as tightly as I can to make them as small and necklace-like as opposed to fluffy. Now, if you're a pear like me, I am going to just fluff it up. I'm just going to make it as fluffy as I possibly can, because I'm trying to balance out and get that perfect figure. So those are two little fashion physics about wearing scarves and where your weight is and your individual figure. Another one of the fashion physics is that when weather is cold, the scarf needs to be as close to you and as up high as possible. And that's when weather is cold. When weather is warm, if I had on something sleeveless, if I wanted to wear a scarf, I would just keep it as far from my body as possible, or I would take my purse and tie it on my purse. A great way to wear a scarf is on your purse, is on a hat. So you can wear it in the summer, but you need to wear it loosely. And when it is hot, if you are going to tie it, make sure that the tie is very low from your face, because you're going to make yourself hot and other people hot by the way that you look. So cold weather up here, cooler weather down there. So that's some fashion fundamentals. Also, the scarf needs to be if you wear a printed scarf, it needs to have the largest print on your body, because as you go up the form, the eye is drawn towards the larger print. If you have a smaller print and a larger print skirt, the eye is not going to see the scarf. It'll go right to the skirt. So, and the shine or the sheen of a scarf matters too. That's why so many scarves are shiny. You know, when you think about some of the older scarves, particularly, they're shiny. That's because the shinier something it is, it needs to be up on your body as opposed to down, because wherever that shine or sheen is on your body, that's where the eye's going to go. And you want the energy on your form to be up. So those are some hints about scarves in general. Just cold weather, warm weather, your figure, and also the focal point being correct on the body. So now we'll go on to tying some other things. And my one that I just did that I love the most, one of the ones I love, and I'll see if I can find it here, is the loop and hang. This is great when you have a collar. It's just a really nice way. It's a good way for somebody who has a little more weight on the bottom because it is nice and fluffy. Now you can take the loop and hang and twist it a little more and make it thinner, or buy a thin scarf and do it as well. But that is the loop and hang, and I'll just show you how to simply do that. Oops. My office isn't used to having things hung up in it. So you just take the scarf, put it around, and then just hang it. And if it is warmer weather, I'm gonna pull it down. And if it's colder weather, I'm gonna cinch it up. So that's the way to do the loop and hang. Now from the loop and hang, which is a relatively simple way to do a scarf, you can do the pretzel. So the pretzel takes one of the loops, and if you have a scarf and you want to try it, and it puts it under here, and then it takes the other loop and puts it over. So it goes under and over. You just crisscross it here. So you get a nice pretzel look, and I have it here hanging. Let's see. Here's a pretzel you can better see. So you just do the loop and hang, and you do one that goes over and one that goes under, and you'll get a very nice looking pretzel. And that's a nice knot right now, especially, you know, cooler, windier Blacksburg right now, and New River Valley. That's a good knot this time of year to do the pretzel. So my favorite that I do most all the time, and you can do another sort of from the loop and hang, you can do this and that, just a plain, and it's kind of like a modified loop and hang, which gives you a little more, less of a loop there. That's another way you can do that. But my favorite way to wear any kind of scarf, or most scarves, because it's so easy, is to do the twist. And I don't give much twist. I could twist it right much, but I like a little more thickness up around my neck and my chest because I don't have as much there. But you just take it and put it through. And that to me is very easy, very casual. It's a little asymmetrical. So because we live in a rural area and things are a little more casual, it's not so dressy. It's just an easier way to wear a scarf. You can modify that twist, and a lot of people don't know how to do that, but you can twist it again, twist your loop again, and then put it through again. And of course, you could do that again and again, how many times you would want to. But that way you can have, you know, just a great look, and it stays in place because I'm moving around. Obviously, you can tell I move with my hands and all day long. And so I want something that's not going to be flying here and there. So this is just a really good one to do. So once again, let's, with my figure, I'm going to leave my loop really, I'm just going to do it once. Put it on, a little fluffy or a little better for me. And then if I want to put another one, I just twist that loop and put it back through again. So it gives it just a nice, easy look. So that's one of my favorites. Okay. Sometimes you have a scarf and you think, and maybe it might be summertime, or it might be when you just have a little bit of something going on. And if I took my scarf and I tried to knot it like this, I'd end up with just a big old knot. So just too much. So a secret way to do a knotted scarf like that is to do this. is just to take one side and tie it. So you take that one side, get a nice little knot, and then just put this through. And then you have a lot slimmer knot instead of having such a big knot. And that gives you just a nicer look, just to do that one side if you're going to do a low knot like that, because sometimes you'll have something on like a blouse, and that's a great look for that. All right. Then we can do the concealed knot. Okay, we're going to go back to the loop and hang. A lot of things are from that. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to give myself a little bit of room, but I'm going to tie this in a knot. I think I have one of these over here that I've done that with, or we can go through and look at those. Just going to put a knot underneath here. And this is a nice way to wear a scarf, but another way that you can do it is to take the loop and to conceal that knot. And it just sort of fluffs it up. So you can have that look. And this is another place where you can do a face mask, pulling up your knot and pulling this up, and you can get a face mask pretty well. But I do like the unity scarf for that, or the infinity scarf for the face mask the best. Yes. So that's a great way to do that, the concealed knot. What I thought I would do is talk to you just so you all can be interactive and ask me some questions about knots and scarves and that sort of thing. So I thought I would give you kind of the 5 top questions that when people come in here, they're asking me about scarves, because maybe that'll make you sort of think of some things that you need to ask, or a knot that you want to see and you don't know how to do, or whatever. But the most common is, Meg, what can I do with all those old scarves that I have? I have a drawer full. Does anybody have a drawer full of scarves? I have to raise my hand on that one. I have a drawer full of old scarves. So let me show you some things that you can do with old scarves that aren't necessarily tying them on you, but do get them so where you can use them. One of the things I like to do is to, wrap a Christmas present with an old scarf. This came off of an old dress somewhere, and I don't wear that scarf, but I can, take a red box and I can really, doll it up so it looks great. So that's a way that you can give away your scarf too. The same thought goes, you can take a whole scarf and tie it with, and I suggest a cloth bow, a cloth or rope or something like that. And you can take it and you've got a great little gift that you can give somebody. I just wrapped up quickly. I just I took an old scarf. This is one that I had from years ago. And I just have this Brighton vase, and I just took it, put it around it, put the bow on it, and you've got you're giving somebody a scarf and you're giving them a gift as well. You can take an old hat, and I grabbed the first one this morning. It was in my closet, and I thought, well, I hope I have something to make that look good. But you can take an old hat and take one of your old scarves. This is a scarf I had from something way back, and put it around. And it's just amazing what a difference it makes. Now I have kind of a fashionable hat as opposed to having just an old hat someplace. So look at your hats. It's a great opportunity to wear a scarf, and a hat like this you'd wear in the summer, and that's a great way to wear that scarf in the summer. You can even do old scarves as a napkin, and be sure they're clean. But I put some in napkin rings, and you could do them all different kinds around your table, kind of a fun table who gets kind of, instead of the same napkin, everybody gets kind of an individual different napkin. So that's a good way to do that. And on the contrary to that is that you could take some of your napkins possibly and use them as scarves, so do think about that as well. One of mine like this one, and I do use this one, and you'll recognize it as Virginia Tech. So my old Virginia Tech scarf that I don't wear all that much because I don't get that dressed up for games anymore. I don't go to games now, but you can use them as table runners. They're great to put out, you know, some hokey displays or whatever you have. Or Christmas, you might have a Christmas scarf that you don't wear anymore. Use it on your table. So those are some great ideas to do with scarves and ways to tie them up in your life, not necessarily on your body. And I think that's part of doing scarves. Can I wear a scarf and a necklace at the same time? Absolutely. I get that. That's probably the most asked question that I get. So today, actually, I'll put mine back on. You can do them a number of ways. But a scarf and a necklace are great together, especially if it looks like the scarf is the chain for the necklace. And I have a hard time seeing here. But that's a great look. So yes, mix your scarves and your necklaces is a great look to have. And I did it here. You can see here's a scarf and a necklace mixed, and actually it gives it a better look than if it was just the scarf or just the necklace. So that's a great way to do that. Can I wear a scarf with sleeveless? A lot of people think scarves are just for winter and that sort of thing. And we know they're not, because we just talked about how you can wear a scarf in the summer on a hat, on a purse, lightly on your form, you know, that sort of thing. So yes, you can absolutely wear a scarf with sleeveless. And in fact, I did the modified twist here with this one. So just a scarf looks great with sleeveless. It's not too much to do. And the neat thing about it is that if you do a scarf with sleeveless, if you're like me, I get hot, then cold, then hot, then cold. I guess I'm just there about it. You can take this off and make a really quick wrap, which is nice. So I highly recommend a scarf with sleeveless. You can start out with a scarf, you know, in several different knots, and then go and you've got a great looking wrap to go over top of you, and you didn't have to carry it with you. So that's a great way to do that. Let's see. Can I wear an inner scarf like on my outfit and an outer scarf on my coat? So in other words, two scarves. And I would say that that's probably not a good look. You know, it looks it's a little bit overdone. You have two focal points. It looks like you're overprotective. You know, people are going to start looking at both of those and wonder what you're doing. And it's just a little overkill, I would say, to do that. So I wouldn't suggest wearing an outerwear with a scarf on your outerwear coat and then wear your inner scarf as well. So just make your inner scarf come out. And this is let's see where I got that one. Here is an outfit that had an inner scarf. You could even tie your knot a little bit closer and upper so they can see it. So, you know, here it is with an outerwear vest and a scarf and so you just one scarf will do instead of having a scarf on your coat and a scarf on the inside. Try not to double scarf like that. It's just two focal points. It gets to be too much. So that's a question I get too. What if I need an infinity scarf for a look and I don't have it? Well, you can take any long scarf and turn it into an infinity scarf. It's really easy to do. You just take it and tie a little subtle knot just as down at the bottom. And then you've got an infinity scarf. Let me take mine off. You've got a great infinity scarf. So if you don't have an infinity scarf and you want that look, just tie that little tiny knot make it and you can do that. Well, what if you don't? What if you need a square scarf for something and you don't have it? Well, once again, you can take an oblong like this, and just like you're folding a sheet into, grab it, fold it in two, and then you've got the square that you need to do however you want to. If you want to tie up with a square, we didn't go over some of the, take your ends in, and just, if you want to do just a tie. And so you've got a shorter scarf, especially if you're shorter and you don't want to wear that longer oblong scarf and somebody gave you an oblong scarf, take it, half it, turn it into a square for yourself. And that's a better way to do it. Let's see. So if you want an oblong, how would you make an oblong if you had a square? Well, just like a towel. The other was like a sheet. This is like a towel. You just triple fold it and you've got a great looking oblong. So just ways, just know that you can take your scarves and modify them however you would like to. So you're not stuck with an oblong or a square or whatever. You can turn those scarves into something else. So questions? I'll show you one other scarf look. This is the waterfall look, and I'll show you how to do that. And I actually have put a piece of jewelry. We have these neat bracelets that are elastic and you can stick them on the scarves. That's a great way to do jewelry. You could also do a pin up here if you want to do a holiday pin or something like that. So, you know, really do, the new look is to mix a necklace with a scarf, mix a pin with a scarf, mix a bracelet with a scarf. Think about doing all those things that direction. And so questions or more scarf tying, or I don't want to take up, I know your time is valuable, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but questions or thoughts?
We have a question in the chat box, Meg.
Okay.
How do you match what color scarf to what you're wearing, or does it matter?
Okay, it does matter. It makes a difference. And I like to say in this day and age, we like to blend, to not match, but to blend would be what we'd say. So a couple things to think. A color that you really like, if you're doing a solid color, is a nice thing to put just your favorite colors. Like my favorite colors are red, and I love black up near my face. And so those are two that I would have in a solid that I would put with a printed outfit. And a little fashion physics for a printed scarf is this, and I have it on today. I really can't stand far enough back to show you. But when you are wearing a print on your body, and you want to add a printed scarf to it, can you do that? I get people that ask that, and yes, you can. But something we talked about earlier, that scarf that you add has to be a bigger print than the print on the rest of your body. So I don't know how agile I am, but I'm going to try it. See, I've got these pants on. I don't know if you can see them. Well, I'll hold up a pair of pants. I'll get a pair. I have a pair of pants that look like this. They're dotted. So my pants are like this. My scarf goes with that. The geometry is right. It works well together. So, but it's bigger and bolder than this. So that, but the reverse would not work. If I had on these pants and put on this black scarf, all you would see is my pants. The scarf would be just extra fabric, not being the focal point for the outfit. So yes, how do you get it to match? Wear your favorite colors in a solid scarf with just about any outfits. In your color palette, they all kind of go. And then be careful with your prints. Just make sure the print is in the same genre as the other print, whether it be a floral, whether it be geometric. That's very important. Make sure the print is bigger. Newer color schemes these days are this. Hold this. this has that one knot that I did earlier, just a single knot, but is a monochromatic color scheme, which means that you're using the same hue, just shades and tints of that hue. So a monochromatic color scheme is a great thing to do these days. It looks newer. You're seeing it in interiors, you're seeing it everywhere in items, the monochromatic. And this is a good example of this, as well as an example of that single knot that is nice to wear. So a monochromatic scheme is good. An analogous color scheme is good. And no, an analogous color scheme would be one that's monochromatic is the same hue and just shades and tints. And does anybody know what a shade or a tint is? You kind of know what they look like. A lot of my folks don't. A shade is a hue or a color that has black added to it. So it's darker. So like burgundy is a shade of red. Crimson is a shade of red. A tint, on the other hand, has pink or cream added to it, or excuse me, white or cream, and it makes it pink or peach would be a tint of red. So another great color scheme, what we just saw, we're doing shades and tints of the same color. Another great color scheme is to do an analogous one, and that is red, orange, red, orange. Those are colors, hues that are right beside each other on the color wheel. That's another great scarf to put on and wear with your outfit. So if you have on a red outfit, then put an orange and red scarf with it. That's a new look. It'll be new. So analogous, monochromatic, your favorite colors. And if you do a print, make sure it's bigger and bolder as you go up and shinier.
We have another question. How do you substitute scarves with shawls for winter?
How do you substitute? I'm not sure exactly what the question is, but I'll try to answer a little bit. So if you have a large scarf, you certainly could use that, like this one is relatively large. And I can twist it and make it really small, but look, I've got quite the shawl that if I put it around me, I've certainly got a great look for winter, as opposed to just wearing it like I would wear in summer, which would be just really twist it tight. If I had this big scarf in summer and I thought, oh, it's the perfect scarf, I'd twist it really tightly and put it down. So I've taken a scarf and I've substituted it for a shawl. Now, how would you do shawls more as a scarf? You could certainly twist them, make them smaller, and make them more scarf-like and use some of the knots that we have talked about. But I don't know if that answers that person's question specifically. Might need a little more info.
Yeah, if it answers correctly, let us know.
It says, yes, it does. Thank you.
Yes, it does. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
I have a question for me, Meg. I love scarves, and I love how you're talking about the infinity scarf, because I always felt it was too big for my body. I'm just so short. Any recommendations specifically for a shorter folk? That scarf ties that look good, better for us.
Okay, I think definitely a square scarf is better because it makes it shorter for you. I think anything that makes it shorter, just more shorter with the body, so that it's not so much a proportion of your body, will help. So you've got a couple things to think about on your form from top to bottom. If this was your form, the way you can lengthen your form is to do a 1/3, 2/3 proportion. So I would do this scarf shorter and make it in just a 1/3. Whoops, It's kind of hard to tie it when I've got, or I probably, I can just take this infinity and do it like this. The shorter you make an infinity, the better off you're going to be. So here's my 1/3 and then the 2/3. It lengthens the form. That proportion always lengthens the form. What chops the form is 1/2. So be careful that your scarf does not end up as 1/2 on your form. So Madeline, if you have an infinity scarf, you probably don't want to wear your infinity scarf just like this, loose and long, because it's giving you more a 1/2 dimension. You probably want to wear it really tight, or you can wear it really, really long if you had a longer scarf and did your scarf as the 2/3 proportion, and then just the 1/3 proportion as your bottom pants or your outfit. So Madeline, if you're wearing a longer top that's 2/3, then your scarf can go all the way down to the bottom of that, and you're going to get a good elongating look. So you have to make sure that the proportion that your scarf ends up for you is a 1/3 or a 2/3, but not a 1/2.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anything
Any other
else?
questions?
I've got one that I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I've got one we've talked about a little bit, but I have several particularly chunky knit scarves, especially when it gets into the cold of winter,
Right.
that I find myself trying to wear inside because I warm on the outside of the coat to keep me warm, and then I don't just want to abandon them with my coat. Do you have any suggestions for kind of transitioning a chunky scarf into an inside look?
I think what we would do, I do the same thing for somebody who has that apple figure. I think if you have a chunky scarf, like let's say this was a chunky one that you had, I would probably take it and twist it and make it as small as you possibly can. A lot of people don't think about that. They think just a scarf just sits like that, but make it more necklace-like. And then you have one that works for the inside. And then let's say you're going to go out that day, you can take that same scarf, floof it up so that it works with your coat, and you've got a great look as well. So yes, I think there's some really pretty scarves, you're right, that kind of look more outdoorsy, but you like to wear them. So, just make them as small and as tiny as you can. Probably doing that twist knot is the best thing to do for those.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Yeah, Meg, I have a question. I have a really pretty red sweater I like wear for the holidays, and I have a matching scarf. I believe I got it from your store a year or so ago. Is there any other way besides just putting it over, like the edge, to wear that knit scarf?
So is it an oblong knit?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
a very oblong, and I just kind of throw it over my shoulder. But like you said, if you're moving around a lot, kind of it falls over.
Yeah,
Is there any other way to?
Well, there again, I go back to what I say is my favorite knot, and that is the twist knot. I love just doing the twist, and you could do the twist with that one. But I also think too, Madeline, that it might be good for you to take that scarf and maybe turn it into an infinity scarf and just double it. And that may be and that's going to stay as well. So you could take it, turn it into an infinity. Does it have fringe on the end or not? Okay.
No.
I was going to say, if any scarf that has fringe and you want to turn it into an infinity, just tie the pieces of fringe. And that's kind of a subtle way a tiny way to do that. It's just tie them in a couple places, I would suggest. And then you have a good infinity. But with that scarf, instead of just putting over your shoulder so it does stay put, I'd either tie a teeny knot, turn it into your, an infinity scarf or a unity scarf and have that. Or I would take it and do the twist with it. I mean, I think you could do the twist as long as it doesn't choke you too. It just depends on the length. You don't want to be too choked. That's why I was thinking the infinity may be a little better for that. I'd have to see it. Anytime, you're welcome, as well as all of you all, to bring in a scarf that you're, having a particular hard time with, or does this scarf match with this, or does it coordinate with this, that sort of thing. I'm glad to help you with that, or any parts and pieces of your wardrobe. I kind of approach it like the scientist that I grew up in. The family of scientists is sort of a science for me. So yeah, I'm glad to help you figure out how to make it work and why it does work. I always have to know why. Yes.
We have another question. Do scarves look good on short-necked women?
It depends on how you wear the scarf. And that's the short-necked woman is the one I'm talking about, that has the larger bust, the larger shoulders, and the shorter neck. And so you need to really thin them down as much as you can. What you want to do is to have some vertical lines right in this part of your body. So that's what you want your scarf to achieve. So how do you do that? Well, I'm not going to do a fluffy look, because that's going to give me round lines right in that part of my body, which is already shorter and larger than maybe another part. So I'm going to go with as tiny. Here I go with this twist again. Y'all are, I'm already tired of it. I know y'all are going to be tired of it, but it's such a good thing to do that. And now you see in this part of my body, I have a straight, longer vertical lines. And with an apple figure, somebody has a shorter neck, usually larger chest and larger shoulders. They need as many vertical lines as you can get through here. You could also do something that had a vertical line, like this. That's another thing that's going to give you a little more length, and you can take that and tie it in the back. Anything that's going to give a scarf, tie a scarf that's going to give you those vertical lines right in that area is a good way to do it with a short neck. So what you don't want to do, because that's as helpful as knowing what to do, is you certainly wouldn't want to, wrap it around like this. First of all, you're going to look super uncomfortable because your neck is shorter and you're going to look uncomfortable. And I say a lot of your look is that you're at peace with yourself and your outfit. And so that's what not to do, is to have those horizontals, those wraps going around here. You don't want to do that. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good. Anyone else?
So what I'd love for you to do is to go in your scarf drawer, and if you need some more oblongs and you have a square, you know how to towel fold it into an oblong. If you're not going to wear it at all, use it as a napkin, a place runner, around a hat, on a purse. It's a great way to do a scarf. And then if you're not going to wear it at all and you're not going to use it in your house, then get rid of it by wrapping a present, and be a conservative person and one that recycles, and give somebody a gift with a scarf. So they get a scarf attached. So that's what I would recommend for you to do. And Meg
is going to be back in January to talk about how to go through our closets and organize that. So that will, yes. Will that be part of the suggestion as far as the scarves are concerned?
Yes, definitely. Sometimes I will tell you just little hints with that, is if you're having a hard time, you have too much in your closet, I tell people to say, okay, I'm going to take 50 pieces out of my closet. You go, oh, 50, that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So start in your scarf drawer, just take some scarves, start in your sock drawer. I have socks that are older than some people who work here, and that I need to get rid of those and throw those out. So, those are just, so I always say, sometimes go in your closet and say, okay, it's going to be 20 pieces today. I've got to get 20 pieces. Scarf drawer is a good place to start. Necklaces, that's all things that you use or don't use, as it be. So, yes, but I love, that's one of my passions, is going through, getting a closet to where it enhances your life. because you can have too much stuff in your closet, and a lot of us do, and that does not enhance your life. It doesn't. And that's what we're all here to do at Garrett's and Meg's, is to enhance your life with our clothes and clothing services.
Great.
Well, y'all been a fun
Good
group.
comments, good
We've got some
feedback.
good questions. Good questions. And please do come into the store, and we'll talk scarves. We'll talk closet clean out. We'll talk whatever.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And
Well,
Kayla,
we
I've
can
got
wrap
to
it up.
trade some. I've got to trade some computer knowledge with you. Maybe I could trade clothes for computer knowledge or Zoom knowledge.
Sure thing. Yeah, I'll put my email in the chat.
Okay.
Definitely feel free to reach out. Happy to help.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, this was a wonderful program, Meg. I'm excited to get into my scarf closet, especially those. I didn't even think of, for table runner or napkins, those that gift wrapping. That's amazing. I just love that. That's
Absolutely. You'll find that that's a good way. This is a good time to go in your scarf drawer. Don't wait till January. Let's do it while you're decorating, while you're giving. Good time. That's what I'll charge you with right now, is to go in there and see if there's anything that you can definitely get rid of. And it's a good time to be wearing scarves because it did get colder and chillier. So yeah. So it's a great time to look at your scarves.
good. I think everybody's
Thank
wrapping
you.
things up.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
That's
you
great.
so much.
Yes. Thank you. It was a real treat. Thank you.